Good afternoon. My name is Sandra Seleni Garcia. This is my activity for the final exam for the unit 1 and 2 for the research project. Okay, my research problem is who is learning the English language after the times of pandemic in Colombia. The objects for the research is general object, motivate the learning through new virtual platforms, thus guaranteeing mindful learning and developing new social emotional skills. And the specific objective is train teachers in the new modality of virtual teaching so that is a clear manner and motivate students to learn the English language. See the government completes with the improvement policies in terms of cognitive coverage in the country and encourage the students to learn a second language in English as an alternative to improve their achievements and project their professional life. And involve all the entities at the part of the students trained in order to want to strain in the all areas of their recent learning from novel to aspects as important and emotional development. Why the statements of problems? Education in Colombia due to COVID-19 face great challenge to ensure that students can continue their class and the schooling is not affected. Within this change, we talk about that institution must invest in new platforms to be able to reach their students. Teachers be try and implement new tools where students are invited to take an active part in the learning process and parents to continue in the role to guide their children or the contrary start to take the role if the had been postponed. Volunteers must go hand in hand with the police that the government must establish to guarantee connective at the national level and access quickly and easy so that the learning of the students is not affected. However, the reality is different because, as I have seen previously, more than 80% of the students' population don't have a computer and even less with internet access. This project is different part. The part 1 is literature review. For my investigation, I know the different literature. For example, for this part of the research, we found several evidence that support the importance of teaching the English language in times of pandemic, and what is advantage and disadvantage has been both from the novel and cognitive part. Science it says that every new need generates develop a new skill. That is why change in the teaching on the English language are directly linked to new methodology and teaching strategies to be able to adapt to the needs that education requires demands. Adopting an online education model, even to a pandemic, is an opportunity to get closer to our students while adapting the didactics. Within pedagogic, this deals with establishing the most appropriate procedures throughout the transition of knowledge, techniques, activities, exercise, everything that in each area and understood as methodology. Only teaching consists of a mediated model, that is, they use the computer or the device as means of communication and information exchange between people, students and teachers. Its success depends on how they are both involved, but also the didactic materials. I am a good pedagogical model based on the principles of activity, collaborative, autonomous, interactive, comprehensive learning with relevant and creative activities or tasks and evolution continuous in education. This seat for the Cortina Susan is a reference for the opportunity in the learning English in the pandemic. The other part in the research project is the previous slide. According to research carried of Sandra Milena Moreno of the Universidad Pontificia Javeriana, he has got document educational innovation in the times of the coronavirus. He raises several aspects of learning in Colombia and explains is virtual education considered an active learning methodology. Virtual education incorporates pedagogical elements of active learning. Science is an interactive and appropriate tool for the transmission of information and for the construction of knowledge by the students, which can help improve your cognitive performance. However, there are some aspects that must be considered to ensure that process generates good results in terms of learning. These aspects are related to interaction science according the process to theorics to Vygotsky theories. Dialogue between teachers and students is essential for a high-level learning. The teacher should give the feedback to the students and should have the opportunity to reflect. In face-to-face education, this is the opportunity to interact face-to-face, which allows the teacher to evaluate the suitability and the assignments and keep track of the students who must complete specific times and dates. On the other hand, in the environment virtual learning, the student is more autonomous and acquire the roles of manager of their own learning as the most manager of their times fulfillment of activities, which sometimes affects adaptation to distant learning, can generate frustration. The other part is theoretical framework. This theoretical framework offers us to a broad vision of the impact of the pandemic has been on the education in Colombia, and especially in areas such as the English language that our country has, due to social cultural difference and the economic context, is far from complete. The National Bilingual Program belongs the development of our learning strategies in times of crisis. Today, more than ever, it is essential to try to keep our students exposed to the English language and to continue to teaching and learning process. Connecting the concepts with the current context through the language gives meaning to learning experience. Science English allows us to access global information and, evermore, to bring our class closer to the other children and young people around the world. Today, the English language is a tool that can help broaden the gaze and the understanding to access multicultural expressions that can nurture their own and all at the same time to achieve meaningful learning. In the emerging context, the learning English language romantic and requires flexible teaching methodology that integrates limited activities and takes proven students with both input and output with multiple opportunities for interaction in different formats using the foreign language. This is how children can develop the desire to learn the language, to understand other cultures, and they also through different means and resources. In the theoretical framework, I think the difference strategies for virtual teaching in special English. In English, it is possible to generate didactic learning sequences for development of cognitive skills for comprehension and production based to the principles communicate approach to teaching English in a foreign language. This strategy is learning objective and designer college, introductory activity to understand the learning. In the virtual learning is very necessary. The activity is easy and clear for the students. Appropriate the topics in the different opportunities. An example for in English. Activities to apply words or grammatical structure. Activity to read or listen to text is very important for the students. Development the different skills, for example, reading, listening, speaking, and reading. Short test comprehension activities and activities for evaluation. Activities for evaluation is necessary for the teacher look at the advances the students in the topics and the English. Other activities for the learning English is incorporate the interest in the students, integrate vocabulary and grammar into the teaching context as a part of the communication process, use cultural artifacts such as songs, poems, rhymes, movies, among others. Integrate games as part of learning activities, relate text, learning materials, or digital resources to possible use of English in real life. Use metacognitive strategies to help the students learning to learn. Favor a variety of activities and materials to avoid stress and boredom in students. In this case, asynchronous activities and to the extent that the concept permits encourage interaction in English using expressions and examples of some formula expression, chunks, amongst others. In the case of the asynchronous activities, it is important to specify the one or the time the students should college development in order to give them not so clear or to organize your week. Like weeks to simulate the participation of the students by encouraging works on text, projects, amongst others, and design and implement activities that integrate the use of fabulous tips of digital resources and the test and study. For this research, I am necessary research methodology. For my investigation, we applied a display investigation that, according to Javier, consists that can be used to describe a unit or analysis and case study of a particular organization or to describe a research method. Described research will be an application of the explorative research based on the organization phenomenon or events. It's used to identify and obtain information on the characteristic or particular promise or use. And the mechanism for the research methodology in IAN explain the questions and the different countries in Colombia, for example, Medellin, Bogotá, Cali, and Barranquilla. For the know the possibility why the different situation for the learning English in the case for pandemic. This is the reference paper. Algorithm is all. Thank you very much.